Hey gang, Sally here. Hope you're having an amazing and fascinating day. I know I am. I am still in the woods in Virginia at the moment in real time, but I'm going to take you back in time just a little bit actually. I'm going to take you to my last grocery store trip because there's something really important that I want to share with you there. I'm going to take you into my tiny kitchen and share another hack that I use to be able to manage my tiny kitchen. So I hope you enjoy this kind of stuff. Please let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate you taking your time to watch my videos. It means a lot to me, and hopefully it means something to you as well. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. If you think you are, double check to make sure. And why do I keep saying that? Because YouTube spontaneously unsubscribes people. I've had subscribers tell me that it's happened to them. It's also happened to me with people that I follow as well. So double check that. Hit that notification bell. And honestly, I didn't do this for a really long time. But for example, if there's somebody that you follow and you want to make sure you don't miss anything, hitting the notification bell really does help to make sure that you're going to be able to see whatever it is that they're putting out. And, most importantly, leave a comment, thumbs up help a lot. So let's roll the intro and we'll see you on the other side. All right, guys, here we are in Walmart. Here's a quick thing I want you to pay attention to in the grocery store. I wanted almond butter. And I was going to just grab this one because, it's the bigger size. I figured it was going to be cheaper, but then I looked at the label. So look at this label. Look at this label. The only difference I see between the two of them is crunchy and creamy. So then I look at this one, which also says crunchy. And I'm thinking, all right, so you can get crunchy or you can get creamy. Nope. When you read the label on this one, see if I can focus on this, it says very clearly, ingredients, dry roasted almonds, contains almonds. When you read the ingredients on this one, and it's exactly the same on the other one too. Let's just get this flipped around. Ingredients: dry roasted almonds, evaporated cane sugar, palm oil, and sea salt. Which one do you think is healthier for you? Big hint, this one that only contains almonds. Now, here's the other thing that really caught my attention. The reason I looked is that this one says it's 57.1 cents an ounce. This says it's 62.1 cents an ounce. And sometimes the smaller container is actually less expensive than the bigger container. This is not one of those times. This is a time where what's in the container is what makes it cheaper. So just keep that in mind while you're shopping. Read the label, not the nutrition facts. Right, Kit? Right. So Kit knows best. But he learned it from me in this case. And I want to talk about this for a minute, just in case it's something that you don't know. The government has been really, they did a big campaign for many years about how important the nutrition facts label is, so that you know how many carbs and how much protein and how much fat, and whether it's saturated fat or unsaturated fat, whatever it is in that container. And that's theoretically supposed to be an easy way for people to be able to figure things out. But in this case, it would actually be really difficult because when you look at the larger container that contains only almonds, it still has 6 grams of carbs per serving, and 2 of those are from sugar. When you look at the other one that has the added sugar, um, it has 7 grams of carbs, and you might look at that initially if you'll only look at the total carbs and think, well, that's not that big a difference, and it's not. But the extra carb is from the extra added sugar. And why on earth do you need to add sugar to almond butter anyway? Oh, because you saved money on making the almond butter by reducing the number of almonds and adding oil, because almonds on their own, dry roasted almonds, when you roast almonds and then grind them up, you get the almond oil out of them, and it's a whole food basically at that point. But when you start adding oil to it and adding sugar to it, well, now it's it's a processed food that's much more processed than just almonds. And so it's really important to pay attention to things like that. Um, And there are so many things on labels. I don't know, you may or may not know this. I actually did a lot of studying about nutrition. I'm a certified health coach and a certified nutrition coach on several different levels, and this kind of stuff really bothers me that people still don't understand it clearly. I've got a I have a PDF with I think 66 different names for sugar. And people don't realize how many things in the list of ingredients actually are sugar. And sugar, by the way, is the enemy. Sugar is the absolute enemy of everything you eat, um, especially when it's not naturally occurring. And when I say it's the enemy of everything you eat, sugar just turns to fat. That's what sugar does, and there's no getting around it. And because here's what's happened with our manufacturing process for the food industry, and we have to call it manufacturing because it's not real food anymore. It's now manufactured food. And what the food industry has done is, in order to make things less expensive, they have put in a bunch of additives. They've reduced the amount of real ingredients, as we see very clearly in this almond butter case, in order to make it less expensive to produce, and more importantly, to make it more likely that you will buy more of it. Why would you buy more of it? Because people don't realize that sugar, added to pretty much everything that is processed, is more addictive than crack cocaine or heroin. Hmm 8 times more addictive. And yet we haven't outlawed sugar, have we? So here's an interesting thing that I stumbled across in Costco a couple of years ago, and it really annoyed me, and it encouraged me to read labels even more closely than I do already. So first of all, I try not to buy anything that's already pre-processed. That I generally don't stop shop in the middle of the store. I shop around the edges. I go to the meat department, I go to the produce department, I go to the fruit department. That's where almost everything I buy comes from. And that's pretty good advice for anybody that wants to eat in a pretty healthy lifestyle. But there are certain things that I do buy from the center of the store. And in part because I live in my RV and I need to have some things that are available so that if I decide I want to stay out in the woods for longer than I planned food for. Wow, that was weird. I don't know if you heard it or not, but a big gust of wind just came through and blew a bunch of leaves down on my roof and more on my windshield. I think by the time I leave here, my windshield is going to be completely covered in leaves. We'll find out. Anyway, I went to Costco and they had this beautiful looking package of sliced sirloin steak, prepackaged. So I'm thinking, great, this would be like super nice to be able to just throw on a salad or heat up with some vegetables or whatever. Super easy. And then I read the list, and if you look at the nutrition label, it's not obvious that there's added sugar. But when you read the ingredients list, it's sirloin beef, some seasonings, added sugar. And I can't remember, it wasn't even as obvious as this is. Evaporated cane sugar is pretty obviously sugar. It was one of the off sugar names like maltodextrin or something like that that not everybody would recognize as being sugar. But it's like, really, why do we have to put sugar in meat? And then I started looking at other processed meats. By the way, lunch meat is one of the worst things you can buy. Although I have found at Sam's Club, their peppered turkey breast is actually not terrible. It still has natural flavors, not good. But it doesn't have any added sugar and it is less processed than most lunch meat. So there's that. The less processed food you can eat, the better. The less sugar you can get in your processed food, the better. You know, is sugar in fruit bad for you? No, not necessarily. I mean, you can eat, if you eat a ton of it, maybe eventually, but naturally occurring sugar, not that bad. And here's the thing, when you get processed sugar out of your diet, things like apples, carrots, stuff that you didn't think was sweet now tastes really, really sweet. Bananas taste really, really sweet because they're pretty sweet anyway. So I just wanted to kind of share those things with you and give you some things to think about. Now, this next step, we're back in my tiny RV kitchen, and I started doing this because I bought parchment paper liners for my air fryer, and I bought the wrong size. So I have a whole bunch of these parchment paper liners because they come in packs of 100 that don't really fit my air fryer. But let me show you what I found out to do with them instead. And I'm coming to you with another quick little kitchen trick. So this is a parchment paper that I use to line my air fryer. but I also use it when I'm prepping vegetables and doing meal prep in general, because it's a great way to be able to contain everything, and then I've just got one little thing to throw away instead of having, you know, like another plate to wash or whatever. So, hope you find that helpful. Just thought I'd share.